Okay, so I think we fixed it. So if you haven't had a chance to go look at that video, it's very uplifting. So take a chance to look at the video that's in our blog. See if you see yourself there or anybody that you know. So next is Terminology Tuesday, and this was in honor of Aortic Disease Awareness Month. So Terminology Tuesday and Aortic Disease Awareness Month was last week. Since it's Aortic Disease Awareness Month, we wanted to share a glossary of terms related to aortic disease. And then there's a link there for you. There's a whole lot of terminology in there that you can pull up and know that you're getting the right information if you're trying to understand a report that you've received in your portal, or if you're trying to understand the terminology that your doctor or nurses are using with you during a visit. This is also a great place to go and look at the terms and see what applies to you and write down any questions you might have for your doctor. My doctor's great at drawing pictures and labeling things. So then I go back to that terminology page and read, compare what applies to me as opposed to everything else that's on there. But knowing the terminology of this community really makes a difference when you go into your doctor's appointments. So take a look at that. Therapeutic Thursday. Relaxation and Grounding Techniques by Katie Morin, LMT. The largest concept to integrate that we can learn to live the largest concept to integrate is that we can learn to live relaxed. Living a relaxed life enables us to create a reality every day that we do not need to escape from. Constant input from the universe, society, and our own self-care choices can contribute to our wellness or our unwellness. I often think of the word dis-ease. So dis-ease is something that whenever the doctor says that to me, that I have a dis-ease. So some options for living relaxed, a journey through the senses. So scent, some sedative aromatherapy, such as chamomile, clary sage, frankincense, jasmine, lavender, mandarin, marjoram, melissa, norelli, rose, valerian, and lang-lang. I've heard of most of those. I do like the frankincense. I've used that a lot. I used to use frankincense with my dad, who had Parkinson's and had a hard time controlling body movements. And by using some frankincense, I would put it on his wrist so that he would smell it as he was moving his arm, would help him with some of that movement. And then pranayama, conscious breathing, alternate breathing, nostril breathing, and the cooling breath, which is a boat tongue, are a couple of techniques. I learned both of these in yoga. And what you do is, trying to remember, okay, 2 fingers. Okay, so you close one nostril, breathe in, breathe out through the other nostril. And of course you do that much slower, but it's breathe in, breathe out. And that is used during yoga, especially in the beginning of yoga, and it really does relax me. And then the other one is a boat tongue, exactly what it seems to say. And it's almost like a panting, but you can actually feel it like go all through your body and calm you. So put both of those in your back pocket and use them when you're in the waiting room, waiting for the doctor to come in. Sight. Create a clutter-free environment at home and at work. Experience nature, place a photo of nature somewhere where you can see it often, or light a candle and set the ambiance for yourself. I'm a very visual person, so I agree with all of these very, very much. I find when I start becoming stressed, I try to organize because an organized place makes me feel a little bit better. I recently had the experience of combining 2 homes. I had a home in Maryland and a home in Delaware. We moved to Delaware. the home in Maryland is where I lived for 30 some years with my husband. And so I had more than 35 years worth of stuff in the house. And I let go of things that now seem to be cluttered to me that I would have never dreamt that I would let go. And at the end of that day, each day I did that, the decluttering, truly it feels like a weight off of your shoulders because you don't have to care for that thing anymore. And if it was something that was sentimental to me, like I don't know, I had like a collection, if I had a collection of something and it felt really hard to get rid of it, I decided to just keep the pieces that I was willing to display. If it was something that was going to be boxed up and I had to store it and care for it and figure out where to put it and move it when I needed that space, I just got rid of it. And I took pictures of things that were sentimental to me, but I didn't need anymore. One of them was a photograph, a picture. It wasn't anybody that I knew, but it was a picture that hung in my bedroom or my sitting room. And it just reminded me of my mom very much. And so I had no need for that picture anymore. It didn't fit in the decor of my beach house. It didn't need to be here. But I had the hardest time getting rid of it until I thought I can take a picture of it. So I took a picture of it with my phone, and now I feel like I still have it. I can still look at it if I want to, but I don't need that physical object anymore. Taste. Ambience and calm consciousness while eating sets space for sacred nourishment. Routine of when we eat and regulating how much we eat is important for a regular and relaxed digestive system, and eating a balanced diet of anti-inflammatory foods and drink more water. I'm like really working on that. I don't know if you can see my water. I'm really working on drinking the water, and I do feel like it makes a difference. Anti-inflammatory foods would be some things like any of the fruits and vegetables. I think most people want to stay away from what's called the nightshades. So like eggplant would be a nightshade. Tomatoes can be a night. Some people would be surprised that they have trouble with tomatoes would be an anti-inflammatory foods. And of course, anything that's processed. You do your best to avoid those things that are processed. I've always been told to shop the perimeter of the store, and that's very, very true. And I was going to go back to setting a calm space for eating. I have two daughters, and one of my daughters, my youngest one, would always become very anxious if we were trying to eat dinner and there was a TV playing in the background. So I started realizing if I turned the TV off during mealtime, it was kind of like her calm time. And to this day, she's 30 some years old, and she still, as when she sits down with her family, she has three children now. When she sits down with her family, the TV is turned off, and it's family time and it's quiet time around the table to talk, not listening to the news. So it's interesting to me. I'm very visual, so the noise didn't bother me. So touch, self-massage helps to gently move lymph in towards the lymph nodes. Use an oil that feels good for you and the season. I've read this before and I don't remember reading the word this and the season. Move the distal to the medial. So distal is the out to the middle. So any kind of massage that you can do really makes a difference. But I will tell you that yoga is like a massage. If you do a slow flow yoga, when you finish, if you did it the right way, then you have moved everything through your lymph nodes. And it's really, really important after a good yoga session to drink that water to get that, to move that all the way through. Anything that's like the restorative yoga, practicing moving into comfort, rest and digest. And Reiki is a great self-care tool for relaxation. I used to I did the Reiki when I was going through breast cancer treatment, and I was like amazed. I actually started going to this woman because I thought I had heard that she was a very good counselor and she had been a cancer physician's assistant. And then she went into Reiki practice. And I thought, well, what I have to lose? Like, I'm kind of getting three things in one there. Like, can talk to her and ask her questions. So I didn't really think that the Reiki was going to be making a big difference to me. But once I allowed myself to, I opened myself up to the idea of what she was saying to me during the sessions, or she prepared me for the session of how to relax, what to feel, or not what to feel, but how to open myself up to what to feel. I was very, very surprised, and I would love to continue the Reiki. I haven't been able to find any near me right now. Sound, positive self-talk, affirmations in the mirror with eye contact and conviction. Oh boy, this is a hard one for me because I'm one of those people that has the negative self-talk very often. Um, and I have worked really hard on that. Like I do read some self-affirmation. I don't read them out loud to myself. I should try it. I don't know. I've done odd things since this aortic dissection for my self-care. So maybe talking out loud to myself like I am right now in this podcast or in this live. But yeah, like if you can't believe it if you can't say it to yourself. So I am enough, or I will care for myself, those kinds of things. Okay, so let's go on to a Friday fundraiser. You know that everything, all the money that we raise goes right back into our organization, and nobody here takes any kind of payment, salary, anything like that. So every time we promote a fundraiser or draw attention to our swag, it's because that's what keeps us up and running. We can't do this and provide the services that we do without people participating in these fundraisers. This is one of my favorite things because it's so functional. It's the seat belt, help belt. And if I scroll down here, you can see all the different ones. So it's the perfect time. Aortic Disease Awareness Month is the perfect time to remind you of our help belt seat belt covers. They're $15. They come in 3 different colors, so the red, black, and yellow. And you can choose from whatever is specific to you, or if you have a family member, like I have a mom who's 86. I have one for her that just says medic alert, and inside are all her medications and her doctors and her contact information. So you can be very specific or general if you have a family member that you think this would be a good thing for. I have one in each car, and the car that I drive, I have it on my driver's side seatbelt, and then my husband has a truck, and so I have it on the passenger side. And I've considered buying one for my mom's car for the passenger side because I go to a lot of so I live in breast cancer world and I live in aortic dissection world. My mom, God bless her, takes me to almost all of my breast cancer appointments, unless it's something real serious, then my husband goes. But if it's a routine appointment, she takes me, and she insists on driving. So I've often thought about maybe I should have one for her car, but the shipping is free. It's a $15 donation, $20 if it's going to be sent international. And if you don't drive, but you have a service animal, or you take your dog for lots of walks, look at this. Isn't this the best idea? Somebody recently sent this in. So you're going to, walk 2 miles in your neighborhood in the morning, and you've got your dog. So there's all of your information right there. You don't have to be worried about walking your dog and not having your information with you. It's right there if something happens. He's a cute dog. I wonder what his name is. Okay, on to Survivor Series. We've been doing this for a while now. And the great thing about the Survivor Series is it really enables other people to hear your story and understand that not everybody's story is the same, but we're all part of the same community. it also, sometimes you do have sometimes you do have some common threads, such as the fear, all the emotion that goes with it. But it's really great to hear from other people. And so on certain Saturdays during the month, we will share stories from survivors or caregivers. We also want to hear from the caregivers within the aortic community. And I love this part about being a shining star in someone's life by submitting your story of survival or caring for someone with the aortic disease. Or if you're on that wait and see list, tell us how you're coping. Tell us what it's been like for you. What has your journey been? How many doctors have you been to? How many questions have you asked? What questions are you asking? We really want to know about the symptoms that were experienced in the process of your diagnosis. We will be sharing your video or blog with the Think Aorta US and use it as a tool to show emergency room physicians and first responders why it's so important to think about the aorta so we can avoid those misdiagnoses. I know this went up on Saturday, and I saw that we had a whole lot of people come in that were interested in this. So this really makes me happy. If you have already done the Survivor Series, we want to know what's happened to you since then. What activities have you added back into your life? What activities have you found that you could not add back into your life? What does your surveillance look like? Did you add any more doctors? Whoa, I didn't realize I wasn't plugged in. Okay, there. And I'm back. Sorry, I did not plug my laptop in. I just came in and turned it on and went with it, and the battery died. So sorry about that, everybody, but a little bit of excitement. So back to the Survivor Series. If you have already done a Survivor Series with us, we would like to know what's happening since then. We want to know what your journey has been like since your diagnosis and where you are now. If you're in a wait and see mode, if you have more surgeries coming up, if you've had more surgeries, we want to know. So please get in touch with us. We've made it real easy for you to sign up. All you have to do is click on the link and Josh will get in touch with you. I was thrilled to see how many people responded to this last weekend. So next, Genetic Sunday. So Genetic Sunday and Aortic Disease Awareness Month. The John Ritter Research Program explains Genetics 101 and the risk factors for aortic disease. Genetics 101, genes are the basic physical and functional units of heredity. Genes are made up of DNA and act as instructions for our body to grow and develop properly. The Human Genome Project has estimated that humans have between 20,000 and 25,000 genes. Genes are stored in packages called chromosomes. Genetic disorders are genetic diseases that affect more than one system, and some of these syndromes increase the risk of thoracic aortic aneurysm and dissection. Disorders that confer this increased risk for TAD include Marfan syndrome, Lewy-Dietz syndrome, vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and Turner syndrome. And if you ever notice that all the syndromes are always named after the person who decided that clump of syndromes put together, that they started seeing a pattern of people with those symptoms or those diagnoses, and then they get a syndrome named after them. So if you want more information about it, go ahead and click that link. It's right there. And next we have something that's happening tonight. I'm thrilled about this. The live Q&A with Dr. Ben Yodelman for Aortic Disease Awareness Month, September 27th. It is tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you can't be there, please email your questions in to Aortic Hope and we will ask those questions. If you don't know Dr. Ben Yodelman, this is a great time to join in and listen to his what he has to say and his perspective. The thing that I like the best about Dr. Yodelman is he looks at the entire person. So you might feel really comfortable about where you are physically. You might be gaining your strength back. You're into a nice routine. You're in a good spot physically, but mentally you feel like that you're not getting there. He's the doctor to talk to. He's had research in this area. He's very interested in that area, and he's very interested in looking at the total person. And our very own, I'll read this to you, but we have Tim O'Reilly, who will be the moderator tonight, and Tim is great. And they have Tim and Dr. Yodelman have a great repertoire that goes back and forth between the, they're just great. You'll enjoy it. So backed by popular demand, Aortic Hope is excited to have Dr. Ben Yodelman as our guest on September 27th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Aortic Disease Awareness Month. So we're going to be live the same way we're doing it now, and you can either join live or send your questions into a chat or email your questions. You may post questions online or message Aortic Hope directly prior to any anonymous questions. And Dr. Yodelman is the founder of a nonprofit organization, Aortic Bridge, based out of New York, and a board member of Think Aorta US. His passion for aortic disease awareness and his compassion for his patients and their caregivers is immense. His bio is he is a cardiac surgeon and aortic surgeon with advanced training in endovascular and aortic surgery. He completed his training with a fellowship in endovascular and thoracic aortic surgery at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia after completing his cardiothoracic surgery and general surgery training. Dr. Yodelman has extensive experience across all aspects aspects of cardiac surgery, including ordinary aortic valve repair, aortic valve replacement, including transcatheter aortic valve replacement, which is a procedure that can be used rather than opening your chest. His aortic specialty practice includes aortic valve sparing techniques and complex reconstruct aorta, open and endovascular aortic repair using the latest technology of fenestrated endovascular grafts. His interest is risk of families with aortic disease. They critical information about patients and families with aortic disease. And I can never say, Memetius Aortic Center Registry follows patients who have aortic aneurysms and aortic dissections both before and after surgery. Lifelong surveillance is done to plan safer elective operations if needed and decrease the risk of emergent problems or surgeries. If surgery is needed, patients are presented with a multidisciplinary conference on aortic disease, and the best surgical intervention is planned. The great working relationship between cardiac surgery and vascular surgery assures that the patient will get the right operation at the right time. Emergencies are handled similarly and will work together every day. Patients and their families are followed for life by our talented multidisciplinary team to decrease anxiety in the patients and families and plan safe elective surgery to decrease the risk of bigger problems. And so I hope that you can join tonight with this live. I'll put it back up there again so you see when. And come with all your questions. It doesn't have to be just about your physical being. It can be about your emotional being also. Write all those questions down and come in with us tonight. And I'll leave you, I saw a quote that I actually put up on the website, or not the website, but the Facebook page. I don't know if I put it up today or yesterday, but it says, "I love when I realize I'm handling a situation better than my old self would have." And I feel like that's something that I really have learned in the past couple of years with the aortic disease. Things that would have upset me before, I've learned to just let it go. I know that sounds like so easy to say and so hard to do, but looking back, I realize how much better I am. So I hope you can take that to heart and take some time and look back on your journey. Again, at an Aortic Hope YouTube Live, this is Tammy signing off. Please